Welcome to Coach on exploreClarion.com. Coach to Coach is brought to you by 814classifieds.com, your local place to buy, sell, and trade. My name is Ed Baumcratz, head coach of the North Clarion boys basketball team. With me today is Coach Tony Allegretto of the Ridgway Elkers. I appreciate you coming down. I know
Thanks for having me.
Things are busy right now. You're working. You're getting ready for practice, but Tony came down before his practice started. I appreciate it. Long drive, but thanks for coming down.
No problem. It's nice to be here.
3 years, 2 District 9 titles.
Yep.
How's it feel to be a coach and a fan of Elkers basketball right now?
Well, we've really the last 4 years picked up the win totals and tried to get the program on good solid footing, and it's really worked out well the last couple of years.
When you took the program over 10 years ago, what did you see that needed change? How do you establish a program like yours?
Well, it's a lot of hard work, and you have to have you can't do it by yourself.
Right.
Unless it's a full-time job for you, and as for what we get paid for high school coaching.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of people behind the scenes, a lot of assistant coaches, and we started in the elementary program by building the elementary program up, teaching the right things, and from there, we've seen some success.
Wasn't Ridgway a wrestling town? What happened?
I think it's still a little bit of a wrestling town. They're a little bit down the last couple of years, but hopefully we can get everything going in all sports. But at small schools, it's tough. You're competing for athletes, and hopefully we'll see some success in all arenas.
What's your thoughts on having a stable coach? Some programs have that revolving door every 2 years or 1 year. There's somebody else in there. What do you think about that?
Well, when I took over Ridgway, Dave Zawodzki preceded me, and we knew there was going to be some down years coming. My second year, we had a pretty good season. It was unexpected, and that was the last time we made the state playoffs before this run. But we knew after that it was going to be tough, and we needed people to say, bear with us, and we will give you the time to do it. And they did, and we got people in place, and we started teaching what we wanted, and it's really worked out.
Past players like Eric Matheson, Jesse Reynolds, talk about those guys and establishing your program.
Well, my second year, this is my 10th at Ridgway. My second year, Eric and those guys, that first crew was probably in either 4th or 5th grade when we had our real good 19-win season. We lost to Duquesne at North Hills. We had a lot of excitement around town. And what we did to the elementary program, we got all our kids, all those players that became heroes to those young kids, and got them out there. And we gave all the little kids basketballs, and we really tried to push the program. And that was that crew of kids, and I think that really helped out with them.
Do you have 2 sons coming through?
Yeah, have one in 7th, one in 4th, and my plan is to go out with my 4th grader. When he finishes, I'm done, because it's a lot of work.
I have 2 kids, and I bring them to practice. I'm sure you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that relationship between our players, maybe 16, 17-year-olds, being exposed to these younger kids?
Right.
How do they handle your kids?
Well, when I first took over, and I remember myself as a teenager, it was like, boy, around little kids, didn't know how to talk to them, anything. One of the things we incorporated was a youth program where in the summer and also twice in the wintertime, we get with the younger kids, and I have the varsity and JV team do the program. And then by having my sons, Dante and Dominic, with me almost all the time at practice, those kids are always around, and they relate to them. And I know my boys look up to them as, Eric Matheson, Jesse Reynolds, and those guys looked up to the group before them. So we keep trying to pass that down. It's a great experience for the kids.
Do you hold your players accountable on and off the court?
Yeah, they hear it from me. I let them know that certain things I don't even want to deal with when it comes to grades, when it comes to activities outside of school. I just tell them I don't handle things very well outside of basketball, and don't make me have to. So.
Can you talk to our viewers? What is elker basketball?
That was one of the things we tried to do about 8 or 9 years ago. My assistant coach, Denny Postorero, who came over with me from St. Mary's, we always talked about the brand, and we wanted a brand, and you have to get coaches that believe in the brand. And Elker basketball right now is hardworking, disciplined, defensive style basketball that we think can be successful with varying levels of talent on your team, and it's really worked out for us.
I mean, I noticed you're on the sidelines. You're an in-your-face guy. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. You know, I'm in my players' faces. You help officials out very well.
I'm very good official.
Yeah. Do you know they have seats for us? Why do you choose to stand up and you know?
Well, I put I think my first 2 years when I was at St. Mary's. I think after those first 2 years is when they changed the rule that you were allowed to stand up. And I thought it was a very bad rule at that time because I thought I was acting crazy on the bench as it was. It's a little more comfortable to get up every now and then and walk around for our nerves, as you
Right.
well know. And by the way, I've seen you on some films, and you got some animation also.
Just
too.
a little bit.
But when you're passionate about basketball and you expect, perfection from yourself, you expect perfection from the kids, you're hoping to get, refereeing's never a perfect
Right.
in any
It's not.
sport, and you're hoping that you can get, just a well refereed game, and your kids can play according to the plan, and you can do your job also.
Right.
And when it doesn't happen,
Right.
somewhere in there in that trilogy, you get
Right.
mad at somebody, maybe yourself.
Right. And sometimes I see if I sit down, I don't want my kids thinking I'm quitting on them. So that's why sometimes I'm always up there. That way, I'm making them fight. I don't know if you had
Well,
that same.
I remember my second year at Ridgway when we started putting that first good team together. We ended up being 19-10. I said it was that first year you were allowed to stand, and I'm up and I'm shouting out what to do and direction on defense and getting after it. And I went to sit down, and my assistant coaches both pushed me back out and said, "They're responding to you. They need you out there. When we're up there and we're barking at them,
Right.
they're doing what they need to be doing a lot more and a lot harder." So that's one of the reasons behind it.
Every team you ask them, we're going to work on defense. What has led you with success? Sometimes you teach defense and they forget about it, or a coach maybe goes away from it. You're on them all the time, and that's your style of coaching.
Yes.
How have you sold them this defensive philosophy?
Well, first of all, success sells them on it, and we've had a lot of success the past 4 years, and even the teams that we didn't have success win-wise, teams had trouble scoring on us because we were doing the right thing, but we didn't have the athletes or we didn't have the basketball players to put the ball in the hole. But now they know, and I think they take a little bit of pride in, we want to be a strong defensive team, and what I sell them on is if you play defense, it never takes a night off. Offense, you can miss every shot,
Right.
but if you play defense, that other team's going to struggle against you also.
I think the problem is you're not recognized for defense in the paper.
Yeah,
You're
yes.
scoring 20 points, your pitcher's going to be in that paper.
Yeah, exactly.
But if there's some way we could change that, I think we would do a lot better.
It's
with
very
defense.
hard to sell it to the kids. Now the kids coming through my program get it at the lower levels now, which 4 or 5 years ago they weren't getting that. And it's hard to sell to the parents because, as you well know, parents like to yell shoot.
Right,
And
yeah, shoot the ball.
Shoot, and it's difficult.
What can you say about your team and their performance so far? I mean, let's face it. I think you can agree too that if we would have said District 9 championship this year, you might not have believed that. Talk about this year.
We tried to sell them on that at the beginning of the year, and we knew, especially with Elk Catholic, we knew Clarion Limestone was going to be pretty good. We knew Cameron County was going to be pretty good, and we knew Johnsonburg's at the top of the heap.
Right.
And you knew that if things break your way and maybe you pull that one upset that
Right.
you can get something through to that. At the beginning of the year, we weren't a very good team. I have 5 guys who are not very experienced in what we're doing, and I knew there was going to be some growing pains throughout the year. But boy, near the end of January, things started to click. My point guard, Josh Roselli, really started to buy into the system and what we were doing. And when I hear him coaching the way I'm coaching him, then you know you got somewhere.
I mean, the single A bracket this year is like a gauntlet.
Yeah.
You know, I think any of the top 6 teams had a chance at the title. I mean, can you talk about, you know, running through that gauntlet going to the States?
Yeah, you know, our first game was against Clarion, and we knew they could shoot the 3 ball, and they beat Clarion Limestone. We did pretty well there. We were able to shut them down. And then we had the big game with Cameron County, and our kids were really hyped up about getting back at that 70-footer that beat us early. And we knew we had really improved from that game, and our philosophy, and the kids have finally bought in. We played in that game. We weren't very good defensively. We did a lot of gambling, and we shot a lot of uncharacteristic shots for Ridgway basketball. Our plan was to shut them down, and the kids came out, were fired up, and led by Ben McDonald, just played great defensively.
What did you say to your kids after that three-quarter court shot? I mean, you played good enough to win, except for I don't want to say a fluke shot, but an amazing shot. What did you say to them?
Well, to be honest with you, I said, obviously we probably still should have won this game, but we didn't deserve to win the game because of we weren't patient offensively or defensively. We didn't do the things we needed to do or that we always plan on doing. We didn't play elker basketball. Right. And when the shot went in, I rolled my eyes back. I waited for the handshake line, and I shook the kid's hand and congratulated him. What a great thrill for the Dylan. Nice job by him. What can you do?
Right. This is a typical game for you. Up 6 points with 5 minutes to go, and you guys are running through your offense, not looking to score. You're having fans and parents and coaches and shoot the ball. You know, what's going through your head when that happens?
It's the perfect scenario. Up 6, a few minutes to go, and my boys now know what they need to do. We're trying to get the other team in foul trouble. If they already are close to foul trouble, we're really slowing it down. The only problem with it, sometimes it infuriates both sides. It infuriates their fans, and they start the boring chant, and it infuriates our fan where they start the shoot it chant. But in the ECC game this weekend, when we started doing that, finally heard some of our people were kind of on our side to, I know what we're doing now. So it was nice to see.
I was watching that game. I was in the stands, and I think you were up 6 with 4 to go, and your point guard, Josh Roselli, goes down the paint, and I can just see your reaction, like, no, and he made it, and it was like, okay.
Okay, yeah. It's like, bad shot. Right. Oh, good shot.
I call that the better shot. You better make it. So that was a great game, too.
Thank you.
I have a feeling that a lot of these 4 teams from single A can win this weekend. What do you think of that? You know, we have 4 solid, great teams going into the playoffs.
Right. Johnsonburg obviously has the tough draw with Lincoln Park, and we got that draw last year, losing the championship game to Johnsonburg, and Lincoln Park had lost their championship and fell into our bracket, so we got them in the second game. The Homer Center game with El Christian, they have most of the guys returning from who we played last year, but if El Christian plays their game, and obviously Coach Traub will have those guys ready, they could pull that one out. Clarion Limestone, they have a tough game also with Bishop Carroll. Haven't seen them play. They were on our schedule, but it was one of the snowed out games that we couldn't get to. And then our game, hopefully we can find a way to win. Eisenhower they're not a powerhouse out of District 10 this year, the second year in the playoffs. Johnsonburg, I think, beat them by 30 last year. If we can stop a couple of guys, I think we have a good shot.
And how about, after you win the championship, you're told you're playing this team, and then the next night it's changed. Did that have anything to do with your emotions or anything?
Well,
because you're trying to get stuff lined up with film and scouting reports.
I made sure I put a lot of time in on Sunday I wanted to have everything done. I wanted my videos done. I wanted my scouting report written, typed up, given to the kids, plays drawn up, and I was able to do that. And on Saturday, I stayed out a little too long after the win, and on Sunday I stayed up late, finishing up my preparation. On Monday after school, I got home. I got the call at 2:30, and I had to start all over again. And when you have to start all over again, it's like, okay, there's 10 hours out the door.
And that's the time that people don't see, the time we spend watching film. We're communicating with each other. We're getting reports and putting those hours in to get our kids prepared.
Yes.
But, I mean, it is what it is, and you guys are going to play whoever they put in front of you. And coaching can be very stressful. What do you do in the downtime to relax, to maybe, just kind of unwind?
Well, you know, when you have two boys, you got a lot of unwinding time with, you know, playing basketball out in the yard, playing football, whatever. They play all sports, so I help them with that. And I'm a sports fanatic. We like to go places. Last night we got to see the Harlem Globetrotters at Clarion, at Penn State. So we do things like that, try to get away every once in a while. About 4 or 5 years ago, I heard a coach say, I don't know who it was, Bobby Knight, Coach Krzyzewski, somebody said, you have to take a day every week to get away from it all. And I've tried to live by that. It doesn't always work, especially at playoff time.
Right. Does the wife get flowers at this time of year?
She's a great help with the Booster Club, and she tells everybody she runs the program. So
let her think that.
She does a great job, and the Boosters do a great job. And without them, you know, I don't know where we'd be promoting the program and all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I don't no longer have to take care of.
You know, you have Eisenhower at Clarion University, which has become maybe your second home. Can you talk about playing there? You know, we both coached there. It's a different beast than coaching on our gyms. It's longer, like the noise. You know, can you talk about playing there? Yeah,
we played, this group that I have this year played Clarion Limestone for our first game there this year, and it's really this group of kids' first shot there. But in the past 3 years, well, you know, count tomorrow's game, I think that'll be our 13th game in 3 seasons. We played maybe 30 at home.
Right.
So to play that many games here, when what everybody's focus was in previous season was, let's play a game at Clarion.
Right.
2 years ago when we played 6 in a row, that was just amazing. Yeah, it was like everything just worked out. The right teams won, the right teams lost, and it was perfect for us. And last year it worked out for us again. So it's a lot of fun there. We get a lot of support from the district, being able to play right here in the district. It's a great venue for basketball, and get all the District 9 fans, coaches, everybody down there supporting you. It's a great
if you
thing.
keep it up, you might want to get a summer home down here or something. That way you guys don't have to keep driving back and forth.
We know the road pretty well, I know that.
And last question, you know, your opponent's Eisenhower. What are 3 keys to your success for that game?
Well, you know, just for the most part, the same keys we have in other games. First of all, we have to value the basketball. No matter what we do, defensively and offensively, if we hand you the ball and give you extra possessions or easy points, we're not the type of scoring team that can overcome that type of game. That's what happened to us in the 3 Johnsonburg games. They're so quick, they've been able to, you know, get us into turnovers. We also need to play shutdown defense, take away all their penetration. The Vincent kid and the Frank kid, 2 pretty good ball players that if we can control them, we have a shot. And the third thing is we have to get the ball to our scorers in places where they can score.
Great. Coach, I appreciate you coming down. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
It's been a great interview, and I appreciate you doing it.
No problem.
Ed Baumcratz for exploreClarion.com. This has been Coach to Coach. Thanks for joining us.